Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is September 3rd, 2025, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, gold does it again after retracing and making new all-time record highs. Now first, looking at today's major economic events, 4 p.m. South African time, out of the United States, we have a JOLTS Job Opening number coming out. Now looking at the markets, let's break it down, starting out with the Forex symbols. The British pound sells off versus the US dollar, and as we look at the indices, yes, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both sold off starting out the September session. Now looking at commodities, gold pushing to new record highs. That is a major push as it's consolidating, as it's moving higher. And looking at the stocks, we're watching specifically ALCOA retracing at key resistance levels, and lastly, look for cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, slight gains. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go with the GBP USD. Now it's a decent sell-off, a really decent sell-off, as it hit a key resistance level. And if we look at a 4-hour chart, you can see a little bit closer, from 135.37 down to 133.87. So that's a decent retracement. Now looking at the other majors, didn't really hit everything. As we look at the Turkish lira, another week, another low, right? That goes without saying. But if we look at the Japanese yen, it did not retrace at its resistance area. So as we've said several times, GBP has been selling off versus the dollar first to go. So that's something important to note. Now looking at commodities, gold pushing to new all-time record highs, blasting above 3,500, actually going to 35.45 and then retracing. This is super volatile at this area, but you can see that a little bit clearer as it's remaining pretty strong here. Okay, despite the fact that it pushed above 3,500, it retraced, and boom, right there. This was a giveaway. This was really a giveaway. 30-day moving average, and at your 8-day moving average, they used that as a support, and then boom, right after that, we went from 34.75 all the way to up to 35.55, $75 move in a days of trading. So that's what happens at breakouts, okay? There are these extreme moves, especially as we get to breakouts. And crude oil also having a little bit of a rally here at 65.90. Let's see if it carries through to today. Now look at the U.S. markets. Yeah, they sold off a little bit. I mean, if we look at the NASDAQ, a little bit of a sell-off. That sell-off was much sharper in the morning, and then we had a recovery in the afternoon. Okay, if we look at the Dow Jones also, okay, but the Dow Jones looks a little weaker. Now, if we break it down, let's take a look at ALCOA. This is super important because ALCOA is a very important company. It's as important as all the major big tech companies like Cisco. Believe it or not, yes, Cisco. Okay, I'm trying to put away some of the FANG stocks. They're not the only important stocks. There is much more to the economy besides just the big tech stocks. I'm talking about the FANG stocks, okay? So here we go. We're at resistance level at 31.83. We gapped down to 30.92. Now the question is whether we're going to use this 30-day moving average as a support, okay, because it did dip below it and then closed above it. So the next couple of days are going to be super, super important if we're going to sell off. Now, historically speaking, I said this yesterday, September and October are sell-off months in the U.S. markets. We get into November, get into Thanksgiving, we generally rally into the end of the year. Not sure if this is going to play that playbook, but you do want to know about it. Now, looking at the high-tech stocks, didn't do much, okay? Facebook didn't go further down. Apple had an up day relatively, okay, after a gap down. Bank of America, which has been super strong, has retraced just a little bit, about 20 cents. JP Morgan also sold off yesterday too. It's 30-day moving average, but made that comeback, okay? That's really super important to note. Now, Tesla has been on a kind of roller coaster ride, okay? It has been up, it's been down, and now we're back on the lower level. Let's see if this can continue going higher. Now I'm going to set up this. You can see that right now. That should be a bona fide buy around this area, 329. Okay, that should be a bona fide buy. If it does break it, then, you know, that's the thing, you know, because at this area, it should be a decent buy as it's retraced 3 times. Second time's confirmation, this will be your final confirmation. So keep that in mind as this is still coming back from the depths. Now looking at Amazon, relatively strong here. Now, big news on Google, because Google came out yesterday, a judge declared that it doesn't have to break away Chrome from Google, so they can keep Google Chrome. And the stock went from 211 to 229 in after-hours trading. A tremendous jump for Google in after-hours trading. Really a good piece of news. And lastly, Bitcoin just hovering above 110-ish levels. It makes a recovery. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.
My advice, this is the best time to trade.